People whose families have been destroyed by 23andMe and other DNA sequencing services. What went down? When my birth mom was pregnant with me, she was too ashamed to admit who my father was. She was too young to be a mom, and so she gave me to my current parents when I was born. They were 10 years older than her and already had a kid. I love my parents and couldn't care who my birth father was, but I wanted to see what I was made of. Everyone was pretty pissed when we found out my dad was my birth dad. How did your two moms know each other? And how fucking stupid was your birth mom to give you to your birth dad and not think anyone would realize? Also, how did everyone take the news? I'm going to use this comment to clarify. It has the best questions. 1. They worked together in a very small town. 2. She wasn't stupid, she was very ashamed and my parents stepped up to take me voluntary, mother's idea. 3. Of course we were all sad. My older sister was very angry for a long time, and something in me believes my mom secretly knew. My dad has cheated before around that same time. My best friend's father is my father. We were 40 when we found out. We were born 7 months apart, meaning her mother, my mom's best friend, was very pregnant when I was conceived. That's horrible. Did you tell the mother? Both of our mothers had already passed away. It destroyed our friendship and she cut off all contact with me over 4 years ago. Our father, never spoke to me again after the truth came out. These were people I spent every day with the first 18 years of my life. She was my maid of honor and present in the delivery room for my children's births. To lose her as a friend was life-altering. We have 4 other shared siblings who don't know the truth. I found out that my dad had a half-sister. She accepted a DNA test, but once the results confirmed it, she didn't want to talk anymore. Apparently my grandma had 2 boyfriends in the army during World War II, and when she found out she was pregnant, she married the one who wasn't the father. We will never know if my grandpa knew that dad wasn't his, or if his bio dad ever knew he existed. I suspect that grandpa knew, but bio grandpa did not. All the men in his family looked like twins for at least 4 generations, except for my dad. Not destroyed, it just confirmed what we already knew, that there was more than one father between 5 siblings. At least 3 as it turned out. Yup. Love my mom, but my late grandmother told me she had doubts that my older brother was my dad's kid. Also, there is doubts of 2 of my half-siblings who my father fought legally to gain custody of when they were very young. We've agreed we'd rather not know and just be our own little messed up family of 6 children who love each other and their nieces/nephews dearly. Spouse found out his dad wasn't his dad. His judgmental holier-than-thou Catholic mom had some explaining to do. He lost an immense amount of respect for her, especially when the bio dad tried to reach out to him. She is still in contact with the married man she had an affair with over 4 decades ago. He refuses to speak to him and has limited contact with her. That's brutal. Did his non-bio dad find out too? That's got to be terrible to find out after so many years. I hope they still have a good relationship. Yep, he did, and they still have a good relationship. My husband doesn't discuss it with him because he doesn't want his mother's lies to compromise the relationship he's had for 4 decades. Did his bio dad know the whole time? Was he getting updates, and is that why they're in touch? Yes, knew the whole time that he was his son. That is why my husband said he wanted nothing to do with him. He knew this entire time and protected his own ass over acknowledging his child. Ours was backwards. A French lady messaged my mom and said she thought they shared a father. Very believable because Papa was a proven whore. Sure enough, she did a 23andMe, and sure enough Papa is a great big slut. Rest in peace. I wouldn't say mine was destroyed, but it was definitely a godsend. When my grandma passed, my aunt went through her old journals and found out 3 of her 5 kids weren't fathered by my drunken, abusive grandfather. One of the non-biological children was my dad. I hated my relatives. My family is full of, I shit you not, drug kings, my uncle, prostitutes, thieves, and jailbirds. My dad confirmed through Ancestry that not only is the asshole who raised him not his father, but he's apparently of the swap babies of the 60s, so his mother isn't even his mother. He cut ties with everyone since he's no longer got any obligation to talk to anyone. Edit, swap babies are babies that were accidentally given to the wrong families at birth, a somewhat common problem in the early 1900s. My mom always says if she didn't look so much like her family she'd think she was a swap baby. It's kind of funny that my dad is a legit swap baby because my mom always knew he wasn't related to them since he looked nothing like anyone in my family. He kept dismissing it as chances of genetics. He was a light-skinned, light-eyes baby with thick blonde hair. Everyone else was either brown-haired or a redhead. They were all Welsh. My dad is Russian. No destruction, but 23andMe showed me the dad who I knew as a child, left early, so no real relationship, wasn't my bio dad. Then about a year later, my sister on my bio dad's side, I thought I was an only child and didn't know who bio dad was, reached out because 23andMe told her about me. Now I have a bio dad, a brother, and a sister. They are all really nice and we are all trying to forge a new relationship. They are all coming over in about 2 hours where my wife and daughter will meet the dad for the first time. They've already met the brother and sister. I have nothing but good things to say about what 23andMe did for me. My grandfather was always told that his grandfather died in the war. DNA matched me with some distant cousins who all descended from a man with the same date of birth, job and birthplace but different surname. After years of digging, it turns out he had 5 wives, divorcing none of them. He had about 3 sons called John from different marriages, a couple of Williams, a couple of Marys. He died in 1949 and I actually managed to get in touch with who I believe is the only person alive to have met him. I got a very sharp response telling me how awful he was and to never mention his name again. Must have been quite the man to leave an impression that's strong for over half a century. My cousin's kids bought her a kit for a Christmas present just for fun. My cousin does the test and discovers she has a half-sister living in the same town and they have the same biological their fathers match. Long story short, it turns out her biological father was not her who raised her. That man was a devoted dad and raised her and left everything to her when he passed from COVID. My aunt, who had divorced him when my cousin was little, was confronted but is suffering from severe dementia and only recognizes the name of my cousin's bio dad as someone who used to give her jukebox money when they were teens. So either my aunt knew that my cousin's dad was not the man who raised her but has since forgotten because of the dementia, or she never realized the guy was my cousin's real dad all along. What makes it hard are all parties are either deceased or have dementia, so I doubt they'll ever get a real story. It's not something that has happened, but it's a fear I have. I don't have the same father as the rest of my siblings and it's not a secret, but I'm the only one who knows my father was not a past boyfriend but just some psycho who kidnapped and assaulted my mother. My younger half-sister is always carrying on about all of us getting those things done and has insinuated she's thinking of buying us all a kit. I'm really apprehensive about that because if my sperm donor has other family members who have done it, and that's not far-fetched at all, I'll be linked to them and I do not want that. I think I know who he was and I definitely don't want confirmation of that staring me in the face, or relatives of his trying to get in touch with me, or anything else like that at all. This is related but not from a DNA test. My father always told us stories about how his father was very hard on him and very generous to his sister. My grandmother divorced his father when he was young and married grandpa's best friend. He, grandma's second husband, died before I was born so I'd never met him. When I was in college I was looking through some old photos to get a picture of grandma and grandpa for some project I was doing. I found a close-up black and white old-time looking picture of my father in his 40s or so that I had never seen before. Strangely, he had blonde hair. My father had dark, almost black hair for most of his life. I turned the picture over, it was dated 40 years ago and was labeled with the name of my grandmother's second husband, my grandfather's best friend. They were virtually identical. Being the stupid girl that I was, I pointed it out to my father who went ballistic. It seems I stumbled upon a family secret, a very painful family secret. Did he go ballistic because you found out? Or because he himself didn't know? I'm pretty sure he knew. I think it just brought up a lot of painful feelings for him. His father being somewhat abusive to him his whole life. He just seemed to yell at it being brought up and told me never to mention it again. It's strange though, he could have thrown that picture away. I discovered that I have some of the highest known Neanderthal DNA, more than 99% users and over 4% of my total DNA. 3 tests submitted and a flight provided to a university in Australia for a testing. Was cool at first, and then not. It bothered my wife a bit at first, thanks to watching a couple documentaries. Not trying to sound rude, but are you different physically because of your higher than normal percentage of Neanderthal DNA? It's possible. A professor wouldn't talk to me directly, he talked to 20 other people about my x-rays and stuff. A lot was about my chest/torso, and arms and stuff. Disregard my ignorance, but what is wrong with that? I personally don't care. My wife watched a stupid documentary that kind of painted Neanderthals as crazy caveman types susceptible of dying early and being stupid and stuff, and I'm not really known for being smart, and we just had a baby and my baby likes raging out and basically looks and acts just like me, and I think it freaked her out a bit. Also, my kid is oddly strong and barrel-chested like me, so it was kind of a what the fuck moment. I found out I'm not Irish after taking one. I have an Irish tattoo. My mom's family always bragged about how Irish we were. My life obviously wasn't destroyed, but funny anyways. It was over 20 years ago, I was 18 and stupid. The tattoo is a nautical compass with a Celtic knot in the middle on my shoulder. My sweetie's mother had an affair after kid number 2 and ended up pregnant with kid number 3. His dad, mother's husband, didn't bond with him the way he did with the older siblings, or the 3 from his previous relationship, for that reason. It was quite obvious as he got older too, being blonde, blue-eyed, skinny, and a high academic achiever versus being overweight with dark hair, brown eyes, and not so academic like his 5 older siblings. His dad died 15 years ago and never had a good relationship with my hubby because he didn't care to invest much in a kid that wasn't his. Last December during my pregnancy, we decided it was time for him to do 23andMe so he could have some proof in hand before connecting with his mother's affair partner, allegedly, his bio dad. And it's a damn good thing he did. Turns out that his sibling's dad was actually his real dad this whole time. Genetics are just kind of a crapshoot sometime, and the affair was a total red herring. Plot twist that I did not see coming. Yeah, that was literally the last thing we ever expected too. My dad turned out not to be my dad, so the basic 23andMe family surprise I guess? Also found out that my heritage can best be described as white mystery. I just got off the phone with my newly found bio dad. My mom died in 1980, my dad in 2012. I logged Friday into Ancestry DNA to get my results from their Black Friday sale. It said that this person in North Carolina was my father, no doubt. Turns out it was my mom's boyfriend before my dad came along. I have no idea if anyone knew. My newly found father certainly didn't. How was that conversation? You must be feeling a lot of feels. I am indeed full of the feels. But I've had 24 hours to think about and cyber stalk the guy. I just sprung it on him at 6 p.m. last night. I need to let him process. Family wasn't destroyed, but my dad found out he has a 43-year-old daughter he never knew about that was conceived when he was 16. I was his oldest, I'm 23, and my mom found out her granddad had an illegitimate child there was no record of. Wild. I thought these things just list out your different ethnicities. They show you high percentage matches with other people in the database as well. I would like to hear more. Did your dad contact his 43-year-old daughter? Yes, she noticed it before he did and contacted him first after doing some research on him. They had an emotional meeting and have since been talking. They seem to be on good terms. She actually thought she had already found her father, guy who didn't want anything to do with her, and she had made peace with that and got the test done because she was looking for another half-brother the mother had given away when she found my dad on the site. It happened about 2 weeks ago. My mom and other siblings took it well thankfully but have yet to meet her, and he's having trouble figuring out how he should proceed given the situation. I think he's letting her decide how much involvement she wants with our family, but it's a complicated situation obviously. Not me, but one of my bar regulars did the test with her older sister. Turns out not only are they not related to each other, but both of them are adopted. And, their adoptive parents are both dead. And, their entire extended family knew the whole time but no one ever told them. Bright side, 2 people chose very deliberately to adopt them as they were and raise them as their own, and that's beautiful. Can't speak for myself, but one of my old high school teachers took an Ancestry DNA test and found out his dad wasn't actually his biological father. His mom had cheated on her husband. He joked around so much that when he told our class, I thought he was joking. Nope. Actually wasn't destroyed, added an aunt that was older than my grandparents' relationship, so it meant no cheating. I'm just sad that she was never given the opportunity to meet her dad. She is an extremely charitable person and I am excited to meet her at some point. My grandpa passed away from Alzheimer's, so my family uploaded our raw DNA to another site to see if any of us have the same genes that make it likely for any of the rest of us to have it as well. Luckily most of us didn't have the gene my grandpa had, but my uncles have it. So while my immediate family knows we've got average chances, my poor uncles are probably dreading the future. Edit, I used Prometheus. Family wasn't destroyed, but my hopes for knowing my birth parents were. Using the DNA testing I found my birth parents, confirmed by CPS documents, and reached out. They want nothing to do with me. I had always imagined some great meeting, but now I just know it will never happen. It hurts to know that they don't want to know me more than not knowing anything. It could be shame from giving you up, or perhaps they are afraid to face you for fear of you being angry. I think that she might not have told her new husband about me. The internet has told me a lot about her life, which is almost worse because we are very similar. We are both teachers, love our dogs, and run marathons. I wish she knew I don't want to fuck with her life, just know her and say thank you. This is kind of dark at the end, just a heads up. A friend of mine took a 23andMe test, found out he'd had a daughter with some fling 24 years earlier, before he joined the Navy and went off to boot camp. Found out he had a 23-year-old daughter he never knew about, with a chick he didn't even remember really who she was. This was right around Halloween. He was excited, like, I'd never seen him so happy. We all kind of thought it was a good thing, maybe reconnect with lost family. Couple weeks go by, he's talking with his new daughter daily, trying to build some kind of foundation. Finds out she had drug or abuse issues and her and the mom don't get along, and the mom had told her that he died overseas. Painting the mom as a total piece of work. Daughter rats out mom for her drug problems, while saying she's clean but her boyfriend isn't. So, she has a boyfriend that lives with her, drama, etc. He offers to pay for her to come stay with him for a couple of weeks and get away from the drugs and drama. This is right before Thanksgiving 2 years ago. He thinks she'll be alone. Nope, she brings her druggy boyfriend. So dad tries to be dad, and gets instant pushback from the daughter and called a creep and that she can't trust him, so he backs off and lets the boyfriend stay. He still has to work randomly through the holidays, but is there 90% of the time. In the little time he's gone, she's going through his stuff and stealing money, etc. Tells me it's obvious she's on something and he's not getting the full truth, but he really wants to work this out with her, so he lets a ton of things slide. She's trashing his house and stealing stuff. He confronts her about it, she denies it, as does the boyfriend. They all get in a huge fight, the boyfriend tries to get physical, so he kicks her and the boyfriend out of his house. The daughter basically tells him she never wants to hear from him again, no contact, etc. He's pretty hurt but says luckily he could return most of the Christmas stuff he bought her. I'd asked how much she'd stolen from him and he said a couple grand. Shortly after they'd broken contact, the girl's mom gets in contact and presses him for the 18 years of back child support. My guy has a good job, so he isn't even worried about it and says he could afford to pay it off in a lump sum if needed. Hearing that, she goes and gets a real lawyer, comes back asking for $1 million. I think they settle south of $500,000. He doesn't seem that worried, says he can make the payments and not even worry. This is about a week before Christmas, but he completely shut down after that. Ended up ending his own life day after Christmas. He was a good guy. Miss that dude.